And let's see here. Hopefully you can see my screen. So this is going to be the first in a series of webinars that we'll be doing throughout the end of the year. Today we're going to be answering one of the most common questions we get is, who is Pioneer? We're going to go over who we are, what we do, and where we serve. Feel free to type any questions you have into the Q&A section throughout the webinar as you come, if you think of questions. And then at the very end, we'll take time to answer those. All right. So we'll start with who Pioneer is. We're a not-for-profit energy provider. We were formed with the purpose of providing customers with lower and more stable rates, as well as a choice in who provides their energy. We are a joint powers authority, or a JPA, which is a partnership of local governments who came together to purchase energy on behalf of their constituents. So now that you know who we are, let's talk about what we do. So Pioneer's procurement team purchases electricity for all the residents and businesses in our service area. Let's see, sorry about that. This works by working with a variety of suppliers to negotiate affordable rates. And although we are the default energy provider in our service area, customers have the choice in who provides their electricity. When options like that exist, it helps the market become competitive or stay competitive. PG&E still continues to deliver electricity through the use of their lines and poles. So I'll just take a moment to explain that. So Pioneer procures and provides energy for our service area, but PG&E still delivers it. They also provide a billing service for us. So every month you get a bill from PG&E that is going to contain their charges for delivery and ours for electricity. There is an alternative for sources of energy, such as Pioneer in this area. There is no alternative to PG&E for delivery service. They're the only entity that provides that service in our service area. So having Pioneer means you have an option in who provides your electricity. And then choosing us means that you have the benefit of lower rates, a choice in energy products. And then we also have exclusive programs that are only available to our customers. We also have exceptional customer service. So I just mentioned that Pioneer purchases energy from a variety of suppliers, but what does that mean? So California's energy market is very diverse. That allows us to secure contracts for all types of energy, both renewable and traditional. When possible, we do try to prioritize local purchasing, which is just one of the ways that we try to reinvest in the communities that we serve. Some of our local sources include El Dorado Irrigation District, Placer County Water Agency, and Sierra Pacific Industries, and Western Placer Waste Management Biomass Plant. So this is what that variety looks like. Every year, PG&E and Pioneer provide an updated power content label, which shows what the current mix of energy is for each supplier. You can see that Pioneer has 2 columns, and that's because we provide our standard product, and then we also have a Green 100 product, which is 100% renewable. This product, the Green 100, was created by request from our customers to provide an option with more renewable sources. And it also gives commercial accounts the ability to satisfy their sustainability goals. Okay, so far we've talked about who we are, what we do, and where we get our energy from. Now let's talk a little bit about where we provide service to. So currently we provide service to most of Placer and El Dorado County, and that includes the cities of Auburn, Colfax, Lincoln, Rocklin, Placerville, Grass Valley, Nevada City, and the town of Loomis. We can only provide service to areas where there's an investor-owned utility like PG&E. And we also don't compete with municipalities or publicly owned utilities like SMUD or Roseville Electric. So you can see at the very bottom of our map there are areas blocked out for both SMUD and Roseville Electric. Part of Placer and El Dorado County do touch Liberty Energy as well. We do not compete with them. Okay, another common question we get is about enrollment. So we can talk a little bit about how that works. In areas where we have already established service, we become the default energy provider. So that means when you move into an area where we already are serving as the energy provider, you'll automatically be enrolled. You'll receive 2 notices in the mail right after you move in. One is going to be shortly after you start service, and then the other one's going to be about a month later. These alert you to the fact that Pioneer is your electric generation provider, but it also serves the purpose of informing you about your choices. If you do not want to be a Pioneer customer, you have the ability to opt out. They also provide a lot of information about the savings that we provide our customers. So there's a 60-day enrollment period that allows you to switch from Pioneer to PG&E without any restrictions. And this means that if you opt out and decide to come back to Pioneer, you could do so at any time. But after that 60-day enrollment period, you can still opt out at any time, but there are going to be a few conditions from PG&E. And this has to do with the fact that PG&E needs to ensure they have enough energy within their contracts to cover you. So they give you a few timelines for returning to them for electric generation service. And then they also require that you stay with them for at least 12 months. And then after that 12-month period, you can come back to Pioneer if you decide to do so. And enrollment for areas that we are in the process of expanding to, that's handled a little bit differently. We'll begin to send out pre-enrollment notices 60 days before service begins, and then another 30 days before service begins. So you have this window of time before enrollment even happens where you are given information about Pioneer, how our service works, and given the opportunity to opt out before you even begin service. This allows customers within our new areas to exercise their choice to opt out if they want to. And then you have the same 60-day period post-enrollment that our existing areas have. So you get that notice 30 days after service begins, and then another 60 days after service begins. And it, again, provides that option for you to opt out with any restrictions from PG&E. And a lot of people wonder why enrollment is automatic. So when community choice aggregation programs like Pioneer were authorized by California legislature, they wanted to ensure that everyone had equal access to the services that we provide. So we also actually need the load of the entire community to purchase energy at the prices we do. Purchasing energy in bulk quantities is part of what allows us to provide lower rates to our customers. So we do need to take that full aggregated load of the community. And as we just discussed, the initial enrollment is automatic, but you can opt out at any time. You by no means have to be a Pioneer customer. It is a choice. Okay, so now you know who we are, what we do, where we serve, and why you were enrolled, but you still might be wondering, why should I choose Pioneer? Well, there are many benefits, as you can see here, but I'll just highlight a few of them. One of the main benefits of being a Pioneer customer is saving money each month on your energy bill. This is one of our top priorities. And in fact, since 2018, we've saved customers over $85 million compared to PG&E. And that is money back into each customer's pocket, which they then turn around and spend in the community. Pioneer also offers more local control. We have a board that's made up of elected officials from each of the communities that we serve. And our board meetings are open to the public. So we also have a community advisory committee that is made up of members of our community, and they help to develop and implement programs exclusively for our customers. Another benefit is our excellent customer service. So our staff is not only knowledgeable, but we're genuinely here to help people with their bills. If you have trouble understanding your bill, or if you think there's something wrong, you can give us a call. We have a chat bot on our website. We are accessible by email. So we have many ways that you can get in touch with us to get help with answers for your energy bill. And last but not least, Pioneer gives you a choice. So for the first time in 100 years, customers actually get to choose who supplies their energy, which wasn't an option before. So hopefully this answered most of your questions. about who Pioneer is. We do have several more webinars lined up for the coming months. So if you have questions about how billing works, or if you're a solar customer and want to know more about how that billing works, be sure to register for those as well. So on Friday, November 8th, we'll be hosting a webinar on reading your energy bill. So this is for people who don't have solar, just straight across energy usage. And then we'll have another one for NEM customers, which is going to be on November 22nd. If you happen to be a customer with solar billing plan, which is the newest iteration of NEM, we will have a webinar for that as well on January 10th. But in the meantime, feel free to reach out to us by phone or email or chat on our website, and we're happy to answer any questions you have or offer an individualized analysis if you would like one of those as well. So now I will take a look to see if there are any questions in the chat. In the Q&A section. Let me get back to that really quick. If I can find it. Sharing my screen. Okay, looks like we do have some questions in the Q&A section. Okay, the first one is, how can I get Green 100? So that's a great question. Green 100, you can opt up to this by giving us a call. You can reach out to us via our chat bot. You can use we have an IVR system, so an interactive voice response system on our phone. You can also do so on our website. So if you log into or go to our website, you can opt up to Green 100, and that would be effective at the start of your next billing cycle. It is an additional penny per kilowatt more, so it is an added cost to your bill, but even with Green 100, most of our customers still pay less than they would with PG&E. Okay, so the next question is electricity sourced from vendors both inside and outside of California? Yes, so we have sources within California, and this might be a question. If you wanted more information on it, you could email me and I'll get more sources for you. But we do get our energy from most of the Western US. Okay, the next question is, how does purchase power solar agreement play into you providing electricity? So I think maybe this question has to do with like a power purchase agreement with a solar company. So when you have solar, including a power purchase agreement, there are times when your solar system is just not going to provide enough energy to cover your needs. And that could be either because the system isn't adequate or because you're not producing energy at night or as much in the winter time. So there are times where you're going to be pulling energy from the grid. So where Pioneer comes into play is you have energy coming from us when your solar system isn't providing enough. You pay us only for the energy you're pulling from the grid, and you would continue to pay whatever your power purchase agreement price is to the solar company for the energy that your system is producing. So overall, still a reduced bill, not only because you have solar, but because the prices that you pay for energy with Pioneer are lower for the energy that you're pulling from the grid. Okay, the next question is, I live in Placerville and the rates from PG&E alone are about 4 times more than SMUD territory. What powers does Pioneer have to change PG&E's rates? So we have no way to change what they charge for transmission and distribution. So I kind of touched on this in the beginning of the webinar. There are 2 components to your bill. There's generation and then there's transmission and distribution. And the rates that you pay to PG&E are what they charge for that delivery. And the rates you're paying to Pioneer are for the energy itself. The reason that rates are lower in SMUD's territory is because there is a fixed price for delivery. So they have a fixed infrastructure charge. It's not based on how much energy you use. I think currently it's around maybe $34. Whereas with an investor-owned utility like PG&E, you're paying per kilowatt for every kilowatt that is delivered to you. That makes up about 60 to 70% of your bill. So that's kind of the short answer for why rates or energy bills are higher in PG&E territory. So we don't have a lot of power in affecting the delivery rates, but we do have the ability to control the generation costs. So that's the part of the bill that we compete with PG&E on, and we're lowering people's bills by offering a lower cost for the energy itself. Okay, the last question, or actually there may be more. Oh, there are a couple more. The next question is, how will Pioneer replace the supply from Diablo Canyon when it's closed? That's not a question I have an answer for at the moment, but it is something I can find an answer for you, possibly by talking to our procurement team. If you would like to email us, we can find an answer from them and then get back to you on that. Okay, the next question is, my bill's really confusing to understand. How can you help? So if you give us a call or reach out to us in any of the other ways that I've mentioned before, we are more than happy to go through your bill with you page by page. So we can start at the very beginning and tell you exactly how it works. So energy bills are very confusing. We also do have a webinar coming up. Our next one is focusing on how the billing works and understanding how that works. So feel free to register for that and tune in. It'll be on a Friday, again, 2 weeks from now at the same time. So it'll start at noon. Okay, the last question I see is, when did Pioneer become effective in Grass Valley? I'm shocked and happy at how my electric bill is. We became effective, or we started providing service in Grass Valley and Nevada City in January of this year. So if you are a solar customer, that might be slightly different because we do enroll solar customers based on their true-up period. But if you are just a straight across energy customer, you would have been enrolled in January. And I'm glad to hear that you are happy about the results on your energy bill. Okay, I don't see any more questions in the chat. I will maybe wait a couple more minutes in case anyone else has anything they'd like to ask, but otherwise I'd like to take the time to thank you guys again for showing up and taking the time to learn about Pioneer and become a more informed customer. Really appreciate having an audience for this. So, okay, one more question did come in. How to get Zoom access for the next webinar. So we do have them posted on our events page on our website. So if you go to our events page, you'll see the next 3 webinars listed, and you click on that and you can register there. All right. Well, with that, I think we will say goodbye, and hopefully I'll see some of you at our next webinar, and have a good rest of your day and a great weekend. Thanks. Bye-bye.